Good morning, everybody. This is the right side of campus. It's a football Friday, October 12th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, here getting you ready for week 7 in college football, week 6 in the NFL. Donnie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Wake up. It's always nice, Jeff. I just wish as Eagle fans we could line up against Eli Manning and the New York Giants 16 times a year. They're seemingly the easiest wins you can pick up on your schedule. And the one thing that I hope always lasts to eternity, look, Eli's a legend in New York. Why not another couple years, Jeff, right? Eli's got another 2, 3 years left in him, doesn't he?
Uh, I don't know about that. I don't think he has many at all. I mean, I look, if I'm the Giants, I would consider moving on from him right away. I mean, I'm not sure you're not going to win anything. I mean, obviously, it's getting to the point with him where maybe you need to consider something else. I mean, you have Loletta. I mean, I guess start him. Send him to a team that maybe the Jags or something like that.
Yeah, but
You
he
don't.
would be worse than Bortles. I was just
No,
being
I'm not. I'm
facetious there.
not.
Like
No,
I
no,
hope he
I'm not.
stays for
I'm not.
the next
I'm
5
not
years
saying.
and has a lot of fun there, you know?
I'm not saying he'll start. I'm just saying you have him as a backup. I don't know. I don't think he'll. No, I think that's what you're thinking. I'm sure everybody wants him to, and I would want him to because he's not good. But yeah, I think he's done myself. But we welcome everyone in. We'll get into that and more. We'll get Donnie's opinion on everything in the NFL this weekend. We'll talk all sorts of stuff here on a Friday, a football Friday here at SBR Picks and SBRForum.com. Hope you enjoy the show. Do us a favor, hit the like button and join us on the chat. Say hello and communicate with us right now. Also, make sure you're checking out the channel. Make sure you're checking out SBRpicks.com. A lot of great blogs and info over there. And a lot of great information to help you get on your way this weekend with the sports. So, welcome in Alex, Bay Area, you, Datfire, Lawrence, Corey Kelly, Chris, Sherigan. Welcome in. Thanks for checking. Week 6, where does the time go? I agree. I remember we were just starting the season a couple weeks ago. It seemed like Top Boy is a great show. Yeah, it is. It's terrific. Retire hundreds of millions, 2 Super Bowls versus Tom Brady, only ruining your legacy now. I agree. That might happen end of the year maybe. Donnie, let's get into some comments here, or some comments, some headlines. Nevada hands down some suspensions, but they're not, let's say, long term. They're still deciding on long term suspensions, but Habib and Connor both suspended. Are you surprised, Danny, that both of them are suspended?
No, I guess they're trying to get to the bottom of it. But the only thing that's funny is, 10-day suspensions for guys that fight every 6 months or so. Like, I don't really understand what that proves. Does that mean they were going to hurry up and get back in the ring, Jeff, 4 days after they just had their fight and going to have a rematch? I don't know where the 10-day suspension. I think it's pretty funny that they actually put a day on there or days on there, like 10 days, as opposed to just saying like, hey, they're under suspension now until further notice, as opposed to saying, hey, in 10 days we'll get this all cleared up, as if they were going to fight in a week or something.
Yeah, yeah, kind of useless. It's like giving a pitcher a three game suspension when he doesn't pitch for
Yeah,
5 days.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't understand. I guess they're gonna have a hearing later in the month, but why not just say you're suspended indefinitely? And the indefinitely would be the criminal or not the criminal, the NVAC commission thing. Why not just suspend
Yeah.
it till then? Didn't make a lot of sense.
Nope.
But we've talked about Donnie Habib has threatened. We talked about yesterday on our show on WCKG. We talked about Habib's threatening to leave the MMA world if they get rid of his brothers. He says, um, again, we'll see what Habib does. Habib's an interesting character. He obviously isn't happy. He also posted a picture the other day, Donnie. I'm saying that um, he's happy he got his belt because he knew where uh, Dana White's car was. And Khabib seems like a guy that Donnie. I listen. He seems off the ring to be a nut. I think he's a nut job in general. He's just a tough motherfucker. Really, I don't know how else to say it. We'll see what Habib does. Who knows what they're going to do here? But he'll definitely be suspended. I think we all know that. Um, Jimmy Butler, again, we talk about Jimmy Butler. I'm so sick of talking to Jimmy Butler. What do we have on Jimmy Butler, Donnie?
Yeah, a team meeting that he demanded to be called and said it was called, but then players on the team say it hasn't been called. And look, and you even canceled your media day because you didn't want him running off at the mouth. Well, why not just ship him off a couple first round picks to Miami, just dump them unloading? Now, the one thing I think we can assume here correctly, Jeff, in Minnesota, you won't win with Jimmy Butler or without Jimmy Butler. So what is the point of having Jimmy Butler at this point?
None. He just throws off the team. He's a shithead. I mean, get rid of him. Move on. I don't know why. And the asking price is so high. Seemingly, I heard Pat Riley wanted to get involved, and that the asking price is just ridiculous. I mean, we saw the asking price in Philadelphia. Ben Simmons for Jimmy Butler. Get out of here. According to reports, Donnie, Pat Riley called Tom Thibodeau a motherfucker in Jimmy Butler trade talk for trying to squeeze him on a deal, and reportedly hung up on the coach after ridiculous demands. So, look, Pat Riley, a legend, Donnie. I mean, even if he can't make a move, you got to figure there's something going on. They just want too much. They're not willing to part ways, and they're making it difficult. So they're gonna have to deal with it and worry about it when the season starts. You mentioned the season starts, and this is the situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like, are you going to let him play, or just like, is he just going to dismantle or not show up one day? Because it's obviously all about. He says it's about winning. It has nothing to do with winning. It's about getting the max contract, and everybody around him is getting that max money. He wants to get that max money, so he wants to be shipped off to a franchise with a lot of salary cap space, so he can get max money. But it's in the NBA, and much like the world that we live in, when you trade for players, you're trying to get them before they hit that huge payday, right? Like Cole Hamels. The Phillies signed him to a huge deal, and then he wasn't worth that much when you sent him to Texas. But you got to get these guys before to get that maximum return, because Miami and the Heat, Jeff, they know the exact situation. And the same thing with Le'Veon Bell in the NFL. You're not just trading a guy because he's unhappy and he's going to come play for you. No, no, no. You're going to give up a ton, and then he's going to want a max deal on top of it. So you have to fit him into your salary cap. So it's a lose-lose situation if you get Jimmy Butler, because he's not going to want to come to your team and obviously play anything other than top dog. And where is he going to go where he's going to be top dog and win? Nowhere. If you're a problem in Chicago and you're a problem in Minnesota, you'll be a problem in the next city you go to anyway on top of it. Who would want that? It's not like you're fighting for LeBron James.
I somewhat disagree with your comment on they're not good without him. I think they're okay without him. They're better off without him. I mean,
Yeah, but
get
they're
rid
not
of the
winning
guy.
with him, though. In the West, they're
Well,
going, no, that team's
the
going
thing is,
nowhere in the West. That was the point.
but if they had Jimmy Butler, yeah, if they added Anthony Davis, I don't think they would win in the West. I mean, we all know who rules the roost there, but I
Yeah.
think they're a team that are fine. I mean, I think they're better off getting rid of the guy. Move on. He sets the team back. You're right, though. I mean, wherever you take him, wherever you send him, he's going to bitch and whine. That's just what he is. That's what he does. And look, every time Jimmy Butler's brought up, we always have to coddle to the fact that Jimmy Butler, when he was a kid, he had a tough upbringing. So a lot of guys do. Stop with that. That doesn't mean he could demand everything and he could be king fucking enemy number
It's
one.
just
I
how
mean,
he
get
was
out of here.
raised, Jeff. That's
We
just
get
how
it.
he was raised. He's a
He
fiery guy,
sent
which
his
yeah.
he sent his letter of intent from McDonald's to Marquette. I mean, we get it. I mean, we get it. He had a tough upbringing. That doesn't mean he can be an asshole to everybody he deals with. I remember one time down there, I was listening to Dan Lebitard. It was a few years ago, probably, and Jimmy Butler came on. Now, Dan Lebitard started interviewing him and asked him questions about his upbringing, and Jimmy Butler just starts acting, I don't want to talk about that, and hangs up. And out of nowhere, it's like he's a dick. He always has been and always will be. He thinks he's LeBron, he thinks he's Kobe, and he's not. He's overrated and always will be. And he's not a number one, and he thinks he is. So he'll be held back for his career. Just is what it is. Um, it's not Jimmy's fault. All his teammates are soft. What? What are you talking about? He comes into practice and acts like an asshole to everybody. He fucks his teammates' wives. I mean, and girlfriends. What kind of behavior is that from a number one player that's supposed to be a leader on a team? And then he comes in and says,
That is kind of beast mode. If he's going to do that, then go in the gym and disrespect, and nobody steps to him.
"It's
So it
not.
is
It's
kind of a G
pathetic
move by Jimmy
behavior.
Butler.
It's pathetic behavior." And it's not behavior that should be happening from a guy of his caliber. You cannot defend this guy. There is no defending. Jimmy Butler is a hack, always has been and always will be. He's not a number one player. Ship his fucking ass out. You'll be better off with that. What else do we have here? So, Donnie, you're in agreement. You got to move on.
Yeah, no, he again, my original premise with whether they have Jimmy Butler or not, they're not winning anything. So just boot him out of town, get a couple, first round picks that are protected somewhere, and just move on and save the headache.
I like I like the T-Wolves. Move on. Get rid of the guy. Fuck him. Yeah, I always hear this. It's frustrating to play with Wiggins. On what world? I mean, Andrew Wiggins is a pretty good player. I don't know. I don't know why Andrew Wiggins gets so much shit. I get it. I mean, he's not the best defensive player in the world, but I mean, who is in this league? I mean, this guy's averaging. He's had a pretty good career. I don't understand the hate for Andrew Wiggins, but let's keep it moving here. More dirt from Adidas. Yeah, this Adidas stuff, Donnie's getting ugly. You're seeing a lot of stuff come out. You have players whose mothers are saying that they're dating Adidas reps, so it makes it look like they can get things from them and all sorts of stuff. Wild story here, Donnie.
Yeah, I like the fact that this guy Gasnola seems to have all the bagmen in a line right now and can just drop a dime on anybody. Where he's actually saying, like, look, I had Ayton signed, sealed, and delivered to Kansas, and I actually felt bad for Bill Self because I was supposed to deliver Ayton with some huge paydays to get him to go to Kansas, but the huge paydays to Ayton went for him to go to Arizona. It's a wild world that this guy's tapping into where he's just paying guys left and right. It's the same stories that we hear. Same schools always involved, but I get a kick out of him saying, like, look, I actually feel bad for Bill Self because I had Ayton himself and his family signed, sealed, delivered, and paid to Kansas, and out of nowhere he goes to Arizona. It's a wild, wild west out there, man. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, you have some bad things coming out of here. I mean, according to reports, Billy Preston, who never played in college basketball, the messages were revealed that Preston's mother, Nicole Player, bragged about buying a car for her son, but for whatever reason, the car was, according to statements by attorneys, registered with her deceased grandmother, who lives in Florida. Wait, a grandmother who drove a Dodge Charger? The University of Kansas was satisfied with that. So basically, there was a lot of things that kind of tip the scales here. Also, according to Gasnola, he gave Nicole Player, Billy Preston's mother, $89,000 over the course of nearly a year, including a $30,000 cash payment and $20,000 brick when delivered in Vegas. And then to kind of cover this all up, Donnie, she testified that Gasnola and her were romantically involved in an intimate relationship, believing such activity would somehow make NCAA legal. It'd make it legal. Wild situations here. DeAndre Ayton was mentioned as well. Gasnola just shredding people, Donnie, here.
No, it's funny, man. I just get back to it last year when the FBI dropped a dime on Arizona, and Arizona's like, look, he's only going to be here for a couple more games. Remember, because the one big stemming game, which I actually ended up winning that game, was Oregon when Ayton, I was going to jump the gun and figured Ayton was going to be suspended for that game. They still ended up losing the game anyway, Arizona. But it's so funny that everybody just said, all they had to do, hey, just talk to the family, and the family releases a statement. We know nothing. And Arizona's like, yep, that's good for us, and let's let him play. Now you see everything else here, man. Just the major, major bagman. Arizona I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years of just paying massive amounts of money to their players and never catches up with them as long as you get a statement from the family that says, we don't know what this guy's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look, as always, I mean, he's a snitch. So, I mean, maybe you kind of come at his credit. I mean, you look at Donnie his comment. I mean, some of the things that this Gasnola was up to. He was paid 150 grand a year, more than his direct boss, and afforded an expense account he abused the tune of up to $300,000 a year. That's unreal. I don't know. Maybe knock his credibility. I don't know. He seems like he's a weak fish guy. He's
Shoe
down.
money,
He's
man. Shoe money's out of control these days.
Yeah, definitely is. But again, college football basketball starts November 6th. So if anyone's curious, I don't think this is going to delay anything, Donnie. What else do we have here today? Yeah, Football Friday, Donnie. A nice comment. We created that lingo here at SBR. I think we've created it
Never
in
been used
general, Donnie.
before
We
out there.
actually
Exactly. Yeah,
trademarked
exactly.
that.
That's us. That's us.
I trademarked that about 2 years ago here on the channel. So for anyone in the world that uses it, make sure you send me a $5 payment.
Loyalty. Yeah.
Um, let's move on to Thursday night football. And a nice game last night. How about that, Donnie? It's what we needed. I didn't know it'd be as easy as it was, but it was easy. And you know what? It could have been worse, I thought. As for as good as, as for as bad as the Giants played, you thought, in the first half, this game should be 41-6. But Eagles were surgical in moving the football. Defensively played pretty well. You finally started seeing, Jalen Mills play some good football. Destiny Vio had a sack, Donnie. I don't think I've ever seen Destiny Vio do anything positive, but he did something last night. Everyone seemed to contribute, and all the stuff with the Giants, you kind of look at and you just say, what a mess of a team right now. A team that is just lost in translation. Eli Manning can't move the ball down the field. I mean, Donnie, I don't think he can throw the football down the field. I don't think he can do
No, he
it.
can't.
Eagles have owned this guy, and it's a big win. Now you get a couple days off, you get an extended break, and now you can go and face Carolina.
Yeah, for the turn of the century, right around like the year 2000, after those good Giants teams had gone away and Andy Reid took control of the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles have been beating the hell out of the New York Giants. Got to be tough because we're close in proximity, and I always like, playing the Giants, not because we beat them every time we play them, but you're supposed to have that close rivalry. But like as a Giants fan, it's just like every single time they line up, the Eagles just drop the hammer on the Giants, and it's kind of funny. And always the key ingredient. Coaches come and go, players come and go, but quarterbacks here don't seem to come and go. Ever since Eli took the reins for the New York Giants, the Eagles just beat him into the ground. And right off the bat, Jeff, we just got a good laugh on an awful Eli Manning interception that got tipped up. And right from there, it was a boat race, 7-0. You get that lead going in. You were hoping that maybe the rain would hold off, and it did. The Eagles played a pretty good game, but I'm also, kind of questioning what the Giants are actually trying to do. I mean, forget about Saquon Barkley. He's a really good football player. Barring injury, he's going to be good for at least the next 5 to 8 years or however till he falls off the cliff, as typically running backs do. But the Pat Shurmur that I'm seeing right now, not head coach wise, but handling like the media and the team, doesn't it seem like, Jeff, like they are like one more loss away from a complete and utter implosion in their locker room because he's
And
testy after the games, and it's pretty funny to watch.
and you just hired this guy. I mean,
Yeah.
Ben McAdoo wasn't good enough, so you fired him, and now you bring him in. Look, Shermer is a coordinator again. I think we start to see these guys that are just they're not coaches and they're coordinators. Pat Shermer, I don't think is I just don't. You need to be like a distinct mind. You need to be a distinct attitude. You have to have a distinct like I know like Donnie Mike Vrabel doesn't necessarily like I feel like he has to learn the offense, but he knows it and he's great defensively and he's got like that attitude and he could be a coach. I think he'll be a fine coach. The kid, the McVay, he's another one. I just don't look at Shermer and think head coach in the NFL. I think it was a bad hire. I think it was a hire where, Shermer's a coordinator. I don't think he has a dynamic enough personality to be a head coach. And you look at kind of the way he's been employed already. But Donnie, look, here's one thing I do know. We have to stop jumping to conclusions that Odell Beckham just ran off because he was upset. He was cramping and needed an IV. Let's
No, he
stop with
wasn't.
the
Nah,
jumping to
that's
conclusions.
completely false. That's a
Let's
complete
stop.
cover up saying we paid this guy $90
Let
million. We better cover it up. Yeah, Odell Beckham might be. I mean, he's up there. Like we used to laugh at Des Bryant being a clown on the sideline. Odell Beckham has to be like if we had a ranking, worst teammate in the NFL would be Odell Beckham, probably number one.
No. Listen, he was getting IVs, Donnie. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he looked like he was real. Looked like he cramped up a lot on the sideline. Looked like he just walked out to prove a point, which is typical because Odell Beckham cares more about dancing and having fun in pregame. Look at my wild hair out here and my shoes. Did you see my shoes for pregame today? Watch this one hand catch that I could very easily catch with two hands, but I'm gonna put one hand up here. Give me the ball. Come on, OBJ.
I like OBJ.
I would
By the way,
hate
they're
him on my
four.
football team, man. I would.
By the way, they're four. Yeah. By the way, It's amazing how people can't pick up sarcasm on these shows. I mean, look, I get on Twitter. You can't. Obviously, I'm breaking balls. I mean, Donnie even knows that. Dewey G. Clan, which is no surprise. He can't ever seem to pick up any sarcasm. Of course, it's a joke. Settle the fuck down. As far as him being a bad teammate, yeah, he is. I mean, he ever since that boat trip, Donnie, they're 4-19. The Giants.
Yeah.
You know that?
No, it's I mean, that's a big deal. It's just and look, Odell Beckham, maybe he wouldn't be such a knucklehead if he was getting the ball. But now here's the other question I posed to you also, Jeff. Is Eli like he's came to New York and he was the end all be all, right? He's the apple of everybody's eye in the Big Apple in New York City. Oh my God, OBJ, superstar. You see him dancing with like 60 to 70 guys at clubs, never with girls. You see him like out and about and doing crazy things at parties. And look at my hair, look at my haircut, look at my cleats. And now Saquon Barkley comes in, is that do-good running back who looks like he is going to be an NFL superstar. Do you think now OBJ goes back to his – now, look, he got his money, which is the end-all, be-all. He has his money. He could do whatever he wants now. But don't you think a guy of his, ego goes back to his room at night and goes, Saquon's about to take over this town, and I gotta try to help out. Like, can't you see that? Because he was the guy in New York. Now Saquon Barkley is going to be the guy selling all the jerseys, not Odell Beckham. Wonder how he handles that over the next couple of years.
Yeah, no, that's a good point by you. Look, I will admit to everyone, I would be irritated if I'm him. I mean, obviously, I think he's unhappy with the quarterback play. Donnie, you can't knock it and say that the quarterback play has been good. I wouldn't either.
It's awful. No, I mean, has anybody
but
seen me on the channels the last 2 years where every time I get a chance to rip Eli Manning, ha, you're just a
right,
Giants hitter. No. Eli Manning has
right,
been a bad quarterback for at least 5 years at this point. It's
and,
not
and,
any
and
bias against him.
that's
He stinks.
and that's the problem here. And look, I wish he could show who he is. I think he's had just poor quarterback play, and I think if you gave him a good quarterback, I think he'd be a more dynamic player. We know he can be, but the attitude stuff has been getting bad, and it's always about him. Look, he's a dramatic player. Most receivers are, but last night's behavior was a little too much. The weird talking to the machines on the sidelines and
Like,
just
and
kind
who
of
is he
ran.
yelling at on the sideline? Like, is he yelling at himself, or he always knows like there's a camera? So let me just act like a fool repeatedly on the sideline. Like, can't you just like get it together yourself and maybe go make a play out there and make a difference in the game? It's always some sideline antics out there, which is just adds to it on top of it. And
I'll
look, the
admit,
Giants are 1-5. It's probably going to get worse.
I'm a very much talk to myself kind of guy. I do that a lot. I don't know if you do, Donnie, but I do. The thing is, I'm not being filmed, and there's no one around me. I just do it when no one's around. But it's odd that he does it, with all the cameras on him. It's just kind of odd. He's a weird character. Donnie, you did make a comment that he's never with girls. Are you insinuating that he? Are you insinuating anything about him, or what?
I don't know. Just hey, look, to each his own. Like it's a new world that we live in out there, and hey, it is what it is. And I'm not going to hold it against him whether his preferences off the field would be. But hey, look, you see him on videos, you see him all over the place, and you just got to see what's what. No harm, no
Sure.
foul. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it has been detailed that he does not ever date women, but he actually is dating someone now, Donnie. She's quite perfect, I have to say.
Dime piece.
Beaut oh,
Really?
you don't even know. Absolutely unreal. She's Greek.
Mm.
Oh, bro, my God. What a fucking find, bro. Um, it's I'll tell you, bro, you gotta what a life. What a fucking life these guys have. I would listen, I don't give a fuck. I would do anything to have a life like oh my God, and she's English too, Donnie. She's got the English accent. You gotta see this girl. I gotta send you a picture of this broad. Wow,
Is she
beautiful.
IG? Is she an IG model or is
She
she
is
actually
an
a famous
IG
one?
model, yeah. You gotta see this girl. What a fucking beautiful woman. That's my type of woman, so I'm into that. But check her out, Donnie. Beautiful, beautiful. She has her own clothing line, according to this website as well. So
Hmm.
I guess he's doing okay
Okay.
off the court, off the field, Donnie.
Hey, he's got his
Maybe,
money, man. You can act a fool. Once you get your money, Jeff, isn't that like the whole point of the NFL? Let me get that big score, and then I'll do whatever I want. And you can't do anything to me. So if he was quiet, he was nice and quiet, little choir boy for what, 2 months. They gave him his money, and then he can go back to being like a fool. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Hey, listen, he's rich. He's got his thing going on. He does his thing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Forrest Kramer, Donnie is political as hell.
Yeah, you got to play both sides, man. You got to play both sides.
And
Let's
actually,
talk
no,
like
I
politicians.
and Dewey G, settle down. I got a girl that looks just like that. Don't worry about it. You will all meet the women soon. I don't have to. I don't have to hide here. You'll meet the women soon. All you guys, you want to talk shit. Yeah, I got you all covered. Just wait. You sleeping on me. You sleeping on me, Donnie. They shouldn't sleep on a big man on campus. They don't. They
Mm,
don't know. They can't. They shouldn't be doing it. Eagles
Trust
though, we didn't talk
Friday.
much about them.
Yeah, let's talk
What
about
what
the
were you gonna
Eagles.
say,
Yeah,
Donnie?
like everybody in the chat box like that. So yeah, it's a Friday, Jeff. Tell them about it. You know what I mean? Don't sleep on big man
Yeah,
on a Friday.
don't you don't s- listen. You don't
It's
sleep
the
on me
freaking
ever.
weekend. It's the freaking
Listen,
weekend.
here's what my look on life with women, Donnie, is. Here's my look. I would rather be alone than date an ugly broad. All right, it's tens across the board, and it might be a couple weeks, couple months as I tiptoe between them, but it's tens. You have to have a 10 on your arm. Donnie, you know about that. You got a beautiful wife. She's great. You got to have that. It's part of life. You have to have that because it makes you feel good when you wake up in the morning and you see that woman next to you. You got to have that good woman. I'm not saying I have a woman like Donnie as far as a wife and a great woman, but for me at this point, it's all about the 10, maybe nines and tens. I'm not going after sevens. And if that means I'm alone, then I'm alone. I'm all right with that. I'm content. But for me, the joy to me in getting a 10, it's just it's like nothing else. Eagles, let's talk about them. They were terrific last night. Saquon was very good. That was about it. Eagles control. They run the ball a little bit. I don't know where the run was for a lot of the games, but what happened to the run, Donnie?
No, I'm just saying the Eagles run. Look, are they setting up for one at this point? Because and the one thing we've always hung our hat on is how bad. Look, we talked about it earlier this week over the summer. The Giants are horrific. The Redskins are horrific. The Cowboys are horrific. At least the Eagles show some semblance of being able to play because they do have at least a decent quarterback in Carson Wentz when nobody else really has that really, dominant quarterback. The Eagles are going to go on a run here, and they might even be able to go 9-7, Jeff, and win this division by 2 games at this point from what you see out of the NFC East. You're getting that, and again, same thing we said before. You're getting that look of the AFC East with the Patriots, where no matter what happens, it's 3 clown shows. And it looks like, for all intents and purposes, this year, maybe next year and the year after, there's 3 clown shows in the NFC East that are going to be able to help the Eagles just roll out their helmet and beat these fools down left and right and say, hey, you know what? At a conference, split your games, but we're going to roll in conference for the next couple of years.
Donnie, I have full belief. I gotta pick your brain about something. I gotta see what you're up
Mm-hmm.
to here. I have
Sure.
full belief that you're Andrew in the chat. Like I have full belief.
No, it'd be
Like
hard for me to do that because, like, you know what I
he
mean? If I
never
had, like,
this guy never disagrees with you. Everything you say and everything I say, I'm a complete fucking idiot. Like I'm gonna believe it's you, Donnie. Is it you?
yeah, I got way too. I would mess it up. See, if I had a burner in there, Jeff, you would catch me typing with my burner account by accident or something like that. You know what I mean? I can't multitask that well while I'm live on a show. I really can't do it.
Andrew's a fucking clown. This guy is a total douche. But hey, I guess that's Andrew's goal in life to be a tough guy on the internet. Well, real man, I tell you. A lot of people, Dottie, commenting on, and this is what's great about the show. I mean, just great commentary. A lot of people discussing the tens comment, not happy with it. Sevens are better in bed. Tens are crazy. Tens are gold diggers. I'll take a loyal seven. Loyalty's huge, but it's a case by case basis. Ski Profits is not all the time sevens are good in bed. Ski Profit
Mm.
knows he gets the broads. He knows he's on the he gets it. He knows. What's up, Jack? Tens don't want their hair pulled. I can go on and on. Okay, Guan, fair enough. Um, People acting like they would turn down a six. I would. I never disagree with Donnie. Am I Donnie's brother? Yeah, Dewey, you're an
Hey,
idiot
yeah, I might
too.
be that too. You're right. I
Yeah,
might be. I
yeah,
might have multiple accounts because I do have multiple monitors. Maybe they're all sectioned up to different people out there. You know what I mean?
yes. Dewey G, yeah, I mean, first of all, anyone named Dewey? Is there anyone named Dewey on Earth? Come on. That just seems like a weird fake name. But Eagles go 7-9 and win the division. I don't think. And they're
Yeah,
only
I don't
going to
know
win
about
4 more
that.
games. I don't think. Yeah, I could see a run. Sure. I mean, this division stinks. I mean, we know
Does
that.
stink.
It's terrible. They're going to run away with this division. And now, like, dude, now that the offense looks good, Donnie, you know what Howie Roseman's thinking. Howie Roseman's a nut. He'll go out and make a move, even though the offense looks great. He's not going to just sit back. He'll go out and make
No,
a
no,
move.
they're gonna add some pieces. I predicted they'll add some pieces this week because you have that mini bye week, and the team's showing that they're rebounding from their early season malaise, and you want to add to it. But as always, Jeff, you see the reports coming out today. Jason Peters looks like he has a torn bicep, but we'll be able to play through it. Look, man, when you're 30, when you hit 30 in the NFL, you just break down. That's just what happens. Like, good for you, Jason Peters, if you want to keep playing and with the torn bicep. And Darren Sproles takes 11 weeks to get ready from a hamstring twinge. I mean, look, when you get old, it's a fact of life. I'm old, man. Sometimes I wake up out of bed like, damn, my back hurts. All I did was sleep tonight. That happens when you get old, man.
What's up, Sean Udit? I hope you're doing well, man. Crypto Cap or 4 and below or slump busters. Listen, you don't have slump. There's no slumps in this business, Donnie. You just get on the fucking horse and keep riding it. Don't worry
Yeah, I never
about
understood.
slump.
See, I'm one of the guys too. Like,
No.
I'm not very, pretentious and say like, it's either 10 or nothing or my past life. But I was always under the impression it's quality, not really quantity.
Yeah,
I never
agreed.
understood the fact like people would go to the bar, and I don't know if you're, 20, whatever in college, and the girl doesn't look that good, but it's a girl. Like, I never understood that philosophy. That doesn't interest me whatsoever, man.
Yeah. No, Donnie, that's why I love you. You're totally right.
Because we all
How
have
about
those
Wednesday?
friends that don't care. We all have friends that don't even care. And you say to yourself, like, that doesn't even interest me like one bit. Like, I would rather just go to the bar, get hammered, and then go in my own bed and fall asleep for the night than have to deal with some other shenanigans, you know?
My complete goal, Donnie, is to wake up in the morning and look to the right and say, "How the fuck did I get this broad neck?" Like that's the most great feeling in the world. My best feeling is walking down the street with a broad and some dude looks and goes, "Damn, how the fuck did he get her?" I love it. I love being the bad guy. I love it. I love
Yeah,
being the
see,
fucking
now
bad guy.
Troy V says I sacrifice a little on looks for a nice nice body and banging boot. But that's different though, because that's something you can, we can all get into and enjoy. But I'm just talking about that where your boy's macking on a girl at night and you're like, what is he actually doing over there? That's the whole point I'm
Yeah.
talking about. But
Yeah.
there are friends
Yeah.
that don't really care about that. I was never that guy. I'm like, that's not really worth my time and that's not really fun for me right now. So that's the way I view it.
Yeah, I almost would rather just not do anything and leave. Like no, I'm not gonna stoop to the levels, Donnie. And that's why I don't drink. I don't drink, so I don't have to worry about like maybe seeing something that everyone else is not, you know? Um
Settling, yeah.
um let's move on here. A lot of good comment. This is what makes the show fun. You gotta have some fun here.
Yeah.
Uh
Gotta right rails.
what do we got? College football Thursday. Listen, if to go from topic to this, it sucked because these games were terrible.
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't
talking. Yeah,
really.
Andy Frank is talking about. Donnie's talking about grenades. Now, as we move down to college football Thursday, this is
Here,
the
take one.
definition of a grenade right here on Thursday Night Football.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
this is the four at the bar that like keep bothering you. Like get away, beat it. Um, yes, bad games last night. Texas State won. Oh, great. Oh no, wait, they didn't win. They covered though. Texas State covered. Let's remember that, Donnie. They didn't win the game, right?
No, but it was the quarterback play in this game from both, like the overall game, and even the camera angle was getting on my nerves at this Texas State game because it looked like it was from an absolute tree above the stadium where you just got like a down look, overhead eagle look. But we were watching mostly, Jeff, the Eagles and the Giants game. But I like to flip back and go through forward. And both games were like 7-3 in the fourth quarter. And I was just like, man, I'm glad, A, I don't have any money on these games. And B, hopefully we don't have to talk about it that long on our show because what did you even get out of any? Both of those games were horrendous with horrendous quarterback play to make it even worse.
Yeah, Sean Robinson was just absolutely horrible in that TCU game. My God, he was bad. I mean, amazing how bad they were. I mean, you scored 13 points against Texas Tech
At home.
at home. Yeah, no weather. I mean, just dreadful, Absolutely dreadful stuff. And is that what we're doing down at San Marcos now? We're celebrating that you didn't get
Yes,
killed?
yeah, that's the only thing that
Quality
matters.
pro
The cover is the only Jeff, the cover is the only thing that matters. Sometimes if the Eagles lose, let's just say if the Eagles are taking points and they lose, you can still celebrate the cover. It's okay.
I always love that too. They almost won. They didn't though. That's like, well, I only shut up a half a bag of heroin. I mean, you still shut up heroin. Doesn't matter. I mean, we almost won. Yeah, I almost, you know, could be president, but I'm not going to
Yep.
be. I hate that they should have won. They didn't.
Yep.
Um, what do we have here? Oh, another
Is there anything more to
quality.
talk about in college football Thursday?
Yeah, big man talks about all of his tens, but never has any evidence. Well, I don't
Damn.
kiss and tell. First of all, Dewey, and I'll tell you what. Next time I'm in bed with a broad, I'll take a video for you, and I'll shout you out
Oh,
in it.
Jesus.
Okay.
Don't want to see it.
Listen, Dewey. First of all, maybe you should watch your girl. Oh wait. She's not a 10. So I'm not interested. Never mind. Dewey, settle down, Dewey. You're a little hot to trot today for no reason. Take it easy, bro. By the way, Donna, did you see the DM I got last night? I posted on Twitter. Did you see that?
No, I did not. During the game, I'm
I
not really
haven't
on
got.
Twitter that much during games 'cause I'm usually pacing back and forth. I like to try to catch up, but go ahead.
Yeah.
What was it?
Now listen to this. Listen to this DM I got. Hey, big man. I seriously think that Saquon Barkley should start on the offensive line for the Giants. What are your thoughts regarding that? I said back, that has got to be one of the most stupid, moronic takes I've ever seen on here. Get a grip. Actually, take yourself and admit yourself. Then he comments back, but he has versatility and agility. He could be playing it well. He could just block the smallest defensive lineman on the field. Your thoughts?
How about that? Yeah, put him out of tackle. Can he be any worse than Nate Solder? He's got the nice low center of gravity, Jeff. He's got the big thighs, calves. He can set that low position, give that nice kick step back out there. You can use him as versatility. Why not?
I don't know. That seems absolutely ridiculous. Donnie, just say it's ridiculous. We all know it is.
No, come on. I don't know. I think the guy was just looking for a looking to get you going, I guess.
I think he was dead serious, actually. Dead serious. Um, Baseball tonight. We get started with the NLCS. Dodgers, Brewers, battle of lefties. Gio Gonzalez, Clayton Kershaw. Baseball's still going on, Donnie. I didn't know that. Still going on.
Yeah, no, it seems like they took a 3-week break between their games, but now you're back on the mound, and it just like you run into with the matchup here, and you look at the pitching. Like, is it just going to be too short for Milwaukee? Like we all talk about Milwaukee's bullpen, Milwaukee's lineup, good baseball team, but is their starting pitching just too short to say, look, we're going to lean on guys look at this, Jeff. You're in the NLCS, right? And you had days off. You're going to run out in the first 2 games, Gio Gonzalez and Wade Miley. Is it just too short? Like you can't just lean on your bullpen by the 3rd inning in every game in a 7-game series.
Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately it's probably going to catch up with them here. I mean, you look at what the Dodgers are trotting out, Donnie. I mean, you're trotting out Kershaw in the first game. I mean, Gio Gonzalez, I don't know. I just can't get behind him in the playoffs. I mean, it is a road game, but you look at the Dodgers this year. I mean, they were solid on the road all season. They were a lot better than last year on the road. I'm not looking to step in front of them right now, and I think I got to tell you, I think Kershaw comes to give it this year. I think they're poised to get to the World Series, get back to the World Series. But Milwaukee's playing great baseball right now. Both these teams playing well. Hard to step in front of them, but yeah, I can't bring myself to bet on Gio Gonzalez here.
No, you're right. You're exactly right in that because if you can get into a game, Jeff, where it's 1-1 in the 6th inning, then you start leading Milwaukee because they roll out those hammers out of the bullpen. But I just think that it's Gio Gonzalez. I mean, how many times are we going to throw that 88-mile-an-hour curveball and try to get it on the outside corner? He pitches 2 really good innings to start the game, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, gets into trouble. It just seems like too much for me. And if the bats are swinging appropriately and Gio's making mistakes, team launch angle can hit it. Now, again, saying in this, I'm rooting for the Milwaukee Brewers in the series, but you can't. I can't back a team in a series. I don't care if they're home or not or how good they are when you're going to have starting pitching like this. It's just embarrassing. And it's hopefully their bullpen can save the day for them like they usually do.
Yeah, I mean, your starting pitchers are like Wade Miley, Gio Gonzalez,
Yeah,
Chacin. I mean,
Chase Anderson. I mean,
it's
yeah, I
amazing
mean, it's
that they're
just yeah,
actually
yeah.
are here, but yeah, they ran into a Rockies team that just couldn't hit. It's gonna be a different story in this game. I'll take the Dodgers here. A bit high, but maybe first 5 minus a half, not a bad play either.
Yeah, yeah, you
Let's
can
get
just
into
isolate those two pitchers. I hear you. Yep.
some college football tonight. South Florida, Tulsa. South Florida 7, total 61. Donnie, does this surprise you that this line has went down? This is one of the highest bet games on the board, and the line hasn't moved. Actually,
Yeah,
it
I
went
mean, you got an
down.
undefeated South Florida team going versus Tulsa, but Tulsa seems to play within the number quite a bit and keeping games close. Only 21% of the spread tickets are backing Tulsa at home. Line opens up 7.5. Now we're seeing sevens across the board and a manageable over under 61. I mean, we saw South Florida. I mean, South Florida met no resistance versus UMass, but then again, UMass doesn't give anybody any resistance. Maybe you see Tulsa playing from behind here, maybe can close the gap and say with another close game that they tend to do. That line does stink. And I guess maybe it's back-to-back road games where you're up at UMass, you fly home, now you got to fly out to Oklahoma and play Tulsa. Maybe a little bit of a sleepy environment. I can see it, but I mean, I'm not going to have any dog in this fight, but it is kind of interesting that line, based on almost 80% of the tickets on South Florida, with 83% of the money, that line going down.
Yeah, the problem I have with Tulsa is that they turn the ball over more than anyone in the country. This team can't hold on to the football. They give away possessions. They can't seemingly. They have a problem within the last 10 minutes hanging in games. And the turnovers are obviously notorious for that. I don't know how good they are offensively. Boomer was pretty good last week against Houston. You'd have to think it'd be pretty effective today, but this is on the road. It's not at home. Defensively, you still have major problems. It's hard though, Donnie, to get involved with a team that's turned the ball over 11 times in 3 games. It's just not good enough. They can't hold on to the football, and this South Florida team is quite optimistic turnover wise. Getting them, they've forced 7 turnovers over the last 3 games. They were very good last week against UMass offensively. They finally had that breakout game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just worry about the line. The line doesn't make a lot. I don't know why the lines went down. That didn't make any sense. Quarterback Boomer is playing. Yes, he will be in there for Tulsa, and he's actually probably the best option for this Tulsa team. He played well against Houston, I thought. Um, Arizona, Utah. Arizona 13 Utah 13.5 point favorites, total 52. This number's moved up the total, Donnie. It's been kind of jumping up all week. Was down to 50.5. Now it's up to 52. Arizona's failed to cover in 14 of 19 as an underdog. But this is a big number you're giving the Wildcats. Donnie, do you look at Utah? Are they this good? Are they good enough to cover a number like this? Because I mean, Arizona's just so inconsistent, so it's hard to really say. But I mean, Arizona has been hanging in games, haven't they? And that was a nice win last week against Cal.
Yeah, it's not really their MO, obviously, last week, though. I mean, Utah's a pretty good football team, and you look at Arizona going and you're just waiting for it's almost like you know what, Jeff, I could equate this. Arizona is like the Houston Texans to me, right? You're saying, I'm waiting on talent. Like, I know the talent's there. I'm waiting on them to finally put it together, but it doesn't seem like they can do that. Now you're going up in a tough place to play against Utah. Utah typically doesn't blow teams out, but as we say, Jeff, there is a reason why that line was opened up at 14 and 13, now settling in at 13.5, over under 52. All three of these games, I didn't spend more than 3 minutes looking at them because all of them don't have exactly what I like to look at in college football for tonight's games. If I'm looking at the number, sometimes you say, hey, you know what? I'll just take the points. It's close to 14. If Khalil Tate wakes up, he should be able to cover this or at least get a backdoor cover, and I'll lean that way. But outside of that, I have no feel in this game whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I lean over. I think both the offenses can move the ball, but Arizona's just been so inconsistent offensively. You mean you look at last week, the win against Cal, they only had about 260 yards, but Cal turned the ball over 4 times. So I mean, you're going to be in the game and you're going to have a chance to win it, even with terrible offensive play. This team hasn't been great offensively. It's just they're finding ways to hang in games with bad penalties and teams turning the ball over. And that was evidence against USC. But I don't have a big feel in this one either. Final game: Air Force, San Diego State. San Diego State 10.5, total 44. Um, I made this game 7. I don't know that I understand why this game is 10.5. Air Force has have been very good in these situations. They've covered 7 of 10 as an underdog, and they don't really get blown out, Donnie. I mean, you look at all the games this year that they played, they've lost by 6, 10, 3, and then they beat last week a Navy team at home. They just dispatched them. The problem San Diego State has is they're off a big win that was on the road. You look at them, they don't really blow anyone out. I mean, they couldn't even blow out Sacramento State, only won by 2 touchdowns. This team struggles, Donnie, to win games by a large margin. They are a little hurt right now. They're coming off a big win. And I'll tell you what, this Donald Hammond kid for Air Force looks pretty good. Last year's game, close, 4-point game. Generally, these teams play pretty tight. I'm getting over double digits with Air Force. I like this Donald Hammond kid, Donnie. He looks good.
Yeah, was this the game? I'm trying to remember back with San Diego State. I think I actually had Air Force, I want to say, last year in a quagmire rainstorm that actually got delayed, where I believe Air Force was winning that football game, and I ended up blowing it because nobody had an answer for Rashad Penny as he just ran wild in the second half. One of my more painful games that I had. So I do remember that one. But you're right. Look at the over-under, 44 in this game. Doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of points. We know San Diego State, the one thing they're going to be able to do is shut down the running game. But again, it's not a normal running game when you're looking at one of the Air Force, Air Force, Navy, Army, and the way they get after it. They should be able to move the football. But your question is going to be what do you get out of San Diego State's offense? Is it going to be close to the vest? Is it going to be open it up a little bit? It is nice when you come off a game where you have a huge win on the road, you're feeling yourself. But Rocky Long usually has this team in a pretty good idea of how to back it. And it's an interesting line movement, too. You saw it at 9.5, spiked at 11.5. Now looks like it's settling in about 10.5 at this point. But look, I guess they're saying if San Diego State wins the football game, Jeff, 27-10 in that type of range, we'll see if Air Force can keep it closer and keep it on the ground, not have turnovers. But, San Diego State's a pretty physical football team and can handle the run. Does seem like a lot of points, though.
Yeah, I like this Air Force group. They're ornery. They hang around. I like the quarterback play they've had. You're right. It's not your typical, run just down, right up the middle.
Downhill.
There's dynamic, there's dynamic plays, a lot of pitches and things like that. And this is a San Diego State team that, I think for right now, you look at the injuries. You have no Juwan Washington. Chase Jasmine has played well, but Donnie, Chase Jasmine probable tonight, but he has a hamstring injury. That could be a concern as well. You could really be down some running backs here. San Diego State's been tough to figure out just with how they played, but I'm not sure if they can blow a team out. I just don't know. And watch that Air Force pass attack, Donnie. They can come up on you. Last week I thought they were terrific in their passing game. They only threw the ball 10 times, but they connected on a lot of plays, threw for 142 yards, which for them is big stuff. You look at this year, Donnie. The passing game's opened up for Air Force a little bit.
Yeah, no, it does. And the one thing that you can lean your hat on when you take Air Force, when you take Army or Navy, in a game, Jeff, where you're saying, you know what, the starting quarterback goes out there and let's just say in the second quarter takes a hard hit and he gets a concussion or hurts his arm and can't play the rest of the game, you sort of have the feeling you want to rip your ticket up. The one good thing about Air Force, though, is they run a lot. Let's just say the starter gets a concussion. You got 2 more right behind him, Jeff. You know what I mean? You're never quite out of the ball game because you have numerous guys that can come in and run that system offense. When you see a team like, Texas Tech that all of a sudden can't move the football because they're without Bowman, you don't have that same dynamic when you have an Air Force or you have an academy like, Army or Navy out there. It's always an added bonus when you get in there. Same thing about running backs. Let's just say they lose a really good running back. It almost seems like they just step in with the next guy who can play that same position and do it almost just as well. So it's nice from a injury standpoint when you take a service academy. It's interchangeable parts out there.
Yeah, you're totally right about that. NFL week 6 coming up. Donnie, injury reports will trickle out here soon. What are you thinking you're going to see here?
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this New England Patriots Kansas City line opens up, Jeff, because they hang that 3.5 out there for the Sunday night football game, 8:20 kickoff. And you say to yourself, the normal gambler, you just say, oh, 3.5. Oh, if it gets to 3, I like can't. It's funny how they have you on that wire saying, I don't want to take the 3.5. Boy, I would love the 3. But if I'm going to take Kansas City, I want the 3.5. It's one of those dynamics that always makes it fun. I don't think that game is actually going to come down to whether or not it's a half point on this one. I think one team's going to decidedly win this football game or at least cover the number where it's not like, hey, it's 31-28 final. I don't think that will come into play either way. You see the Pittsburgh Steelers out there, Jeff, open up getting 2.5. That number is down to 2, and also seeing it bet online, Jeff, a -1.5 out there for Cincinnati. So a little bit of money coming in on Pittsburgh. Another couple games out there, Jeff, seeing where that line ends up with Atlanta. You're seeing 3s out there where there's some early 3.5s this week. And the major line movement today, if you saw my tweet today, Jeff, those Cleveland Browns now a favorite versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
I saw you use my one of my favorite gifts, Donnie. What are you doing that?
What's that? The dog gift? Yeah, I had to go. I had to dip into the bag over there.
I don't like when people do that, Donnie. You can't steal people's gifts.
I usually like the
That's
boxer
fine.
gift, though. The dog, the boxer, where he's like looking at the camera. He's like that one. I like that one. Yeah.
Dude, how many times have you used that one gift? You use that Charlie Murphy gift like all the time. You love that one.
It's the best one. Charlie Murphy's a great gift, and also the two single best gifts are the ones with that. Whatever the background is on the wrapper, and he has the red cup, and he gives that face on there. But there's also the other one I like, where the guy's just going like this. That's one of those two are my favorite gifts on Twitter, man.
I think the best gift on Twitter is that it's like I don't know, it's like I don't know what it's from. It's like it's like one of those like claymation characters. He's like throwing up. You ever see that one?
Yes, yeah,
Like,
there's a couple of claymation ones, yeah, whether it's like, and they have like these focus screens up on all of them, like they're going like this. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
he's like,
Yeah.
and he's like
Yeah.
throwing up like uncontrollably.
Yep.
Yeah, NFL should be fun. We'll update that on the show at 3:00, and want to shout out the show at 3:00 and 2 p.m. Central, iHeartRadio, WCKG, all different places that carry it. It's a fun channel. It's a fun radio show. We enjoy it. It's been fun, kind of getting to know some of the callers. We had some good callers yesterday, Donnie, and we urge all of you. I think that a lot of the problems are a lot of people are working, they're not able to get to a phone or whatever. But if you have an opportunity, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear you be a part of the show. I hope you guys are enjoying it. There's a lot going on. It allows us to really kind of have that gambling radio show that we've always wanted. We heard from Alex B. Smith yesterday. Heard from Shy Picks. Donna, we had a caller yesterday called Brian Schottenheimer a loser. Which I got to be honest, I don't think that was wrong either. Yeah, it's been fun, Don. I've been enjoying doing the show.
No, it has been fun, and we'll continue that again today. Friday, always my busiest day here on the channels, Jeff, then followed up by the Audible just after that. And then heading once again, Jeff, seems like, it's nice to have Saturday where I don't have to have any show commitments there. Heading back down to my second home in Atlantic City again tonight for the third time in the last month. Enjoy my time in AC.
What are you doing there, Donnie?
Taking the kids out. There's a place called the Sugar Factory that I'm taking my daughter to tonight. Got a nice little room at the Ocean Resort. Hang out, relax, Spend a little Look, you need some family time before that Saturday, Sunday crush hits over here.
Sure. I agree with you. I have my normal stuff to do today. Go and get a haircut and that kind of thing. Can you swear on the radio? No, you cannot. That's why we don't do it, Marco. We were strictly told there's certain words you cannot say. So I think I've said hell, but no, that's nothing bad there. Donnie, we were strictly told you cannot swear on the internet or on the radio. So.
True. Yes, we're under FCC regulations. As Howard Stern would always get angry at the FCC, Jeff.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I'm not going to take them on. Put it that way. There was one other thing that I wanted to bring up before we wrap up today, but I can't seem to remember what it was. By the way, there's a big preseason card tonight. I'll probably have a player or two in preseason, so we'll put a record to work here tonight. I saw last night, Donnie, it was in the second quarter. The Sacramento Kings had 12 points with like 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Preseason people are not. I think there's too many games. I think at this point. But we'll get to that a little bit later as well. Everyone have a great day. Thanks for checking us out. We appreciate you all joining us here. We'll be back Monday. Tomorrow we'll be on live. Ian Cameron and I, the Closing Line College Football Edition. This Sunday we have plenty of NFL coverage as well. We'll go through all the games there. Donnie, you made a comment yesterday that Russ Yersh will be at the Wembley? Is that true?
Yes, he is. We're gonna see if we can connect him onto the closing line on Sunday to try to get an update from down and see how the crowd is involved in that football game. So yeah, he's gonna be I think at a couple of these London games.
Donnie, now when you go to Wembley, you have to sing a chant. What the chant is?
Is it Fly Eagles Fly?
No, you have. Well, yeah, but you have to also sing this. You have to go Wembley, Wembley. Can we get one from you?
What about this though? You'll never walk alone.
No, that's Liverpool. We're not going to Anfield today, Donnie. We're going to Wembley, Wembley. So yeah, we'll see if we can get Russ. That should be interesting. Big man, what happened to the Viva Las Vegas blog talk show? We just stopped doing it. Blackjack was very busy. I'm very busy. It happens. We got a lot going on. Thank you, Ski Prophet. Thank you, Elio. Thank you, everyone, for
Yes,
checking in.
yes, yes.
We appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for coming on and having fun every day with us here. We'll be back Monday, same time, same place. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.